Morning.
Whatever you wish that others would do to you.
This looks neat. This looks interesting, rather. There's
This is the law.
a film called, it's either called Angel or The Chosen.
It was said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your
Hold on, I'm
enemy.
about to add commentary.
But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. It's prison.
Are you ready to do hard things? That's what he had said right before. I'm gonna link that. I'll find this. I'm watching this on YouTube right now. I was watching a Dave Ramsey clip.
Be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face to you.
Hold on, can I pause this? Okay, let me add some notes here, because this is ridiculous. Just you watch it. So I'm started a new YouTube channel, so I could put my business stuff on there and not have this short shit talking blog that you're watching this on. That's a side comment, but I'll elaborate more on all that. When I'm trying to create a little bit more of a safe place for my business associates, so that you don't, if you go to mattwells.biz and watch one of the embedded videos, which, YouTube, they're hosted on YouTube. Some people like me, I know I'm like this. I like the YouTube player better than watching it in an embedded video on my phone, at least, for various reasons of the way it works, whatnot. So I'll oftentimes go to, like, Todd Falcone is a good example. So I tune into toddfalcone.com. He's a network marketing thought leader, trainer, coach. Very, he's a good one to listen to if you want to learn about network marketing or just stay close to the fire. Good episode recently there, Todd, if you see this. But perfect example, though. So I will get the email from Todd about a new episode. I'll click on that. That brings me to his website. And I may start the video on that website, embedded in the website. But I'll click the little button there because there's a little thing to watch on YouTube. So I'll click it over and watch it on YouTube when I'm on my phone, at least, because it just works better on my phone. Whatever. Anyway, so I know I'm not the only person who will do something like that. The point I'm getting at is, which just as a side note, this was a Jesus video here that I'm finding fascinating. Or it looks interesting. It's called Angel. But, oh, new channel. So my personal channel, this channel that Shorty Does Life shit is posted on, is I pay, I think, $10 a month or something. There's no commercials, right? So the reason why that came up is I'm watching this in my Safari browser, which is logged into this new channel that I'm making to go into mattwells.biz, replace all of the YouTube videos that are embedded on mattwells.biz are going to be replaced with these new YouTube channel videos, whatever, which are the same videos, just whatever. Because I don't want somebody to go to mattwells.biz to watch some shit about gratitude or something like that, and then they click over, watch it on YouTube, and the next fucking video is some asshole dropping F-bombs all over the place talking about whatever the fuck I'm talking about in that next video. Because I use YouTube to host my shit. I'm not a YouTuber. Have no interest in building a YouTube channel or monetizing my YouTube channel. And let me touch on this real quick. Why? Because the idea of monetizing the YouTube channel doesn't come without cost. So on one hand, I should monetize it because think of the story of the talents, right? If you squander, right, you're not going to be given more worldly responsibility. Also, too, so I understand that consideration. And the purpose of making videos is not to monetize a YouTube channel. The purpose of doing the videos that I'm doing is much more significant than YouTube monetization. And the YouTube monetization doesn't come without a cost. I can't use music, copyrighted stuff, if I monetize my YouTube channel. And that's a big part of my creative process. I flow. And that's why I have this safe space of Shorty Does Life, drop all the F-bombs I want to drop, because I flow better when I'm free, when I'm not dammed up with the concerns of someone else's opinion on surface level language. So, all that to say, what was neat about this experience just now is that I am watching I'm letting a Dave Ramsey video is playing in the background. I've got open in another browser a thing that I was about to share that Dave Ramsey thing on Facebook. And then as I was writing this thing on Facebook, which I was talking about how I don't hate, but I roll my eyes at that whole better than I deserve bullshit shtick of his. Anyway, but he's got great wisdom that he shares and whatnot. I just wanted to disclose, and that's what I'd written in my Facebook post so far. And anyway, I had this thing playing in the Safari browser, though, the Dave Ramsey clip, which I'm 3 minutes into the clip that I'm about to share on Facebook. It's like a 16-minute video, I think. I don't know, the commercial's up right now. But, anyway, the Dave Ramsey clip that was playing in the background while I was working on the laptop, and then I started making my Facebook post in another browser, got interrupted with a damn commercial. And I'm not used to commercials on Facebook because I have in YouTube, in my YouTube, I don't have any commercials play because I paid $10 a month or whatever it is to have the YouTube Premium. So there's no commercials in my YouTube experience when I'm watching YouTube. But I'm in that other channel that I told you the reason why I have another channel in Safari, and that's what was playing that Dave Ramsey thing. And I'm grateful. This is that whole God's plan. It's just divine thing. Everything happens for a reason kind of a thing. Whatever. And I never heard of this film, Angel, or The Chosen. I'm not sure what it's called. It'll be linked below this episode. But it's a story of the one that we call Jesus. And I said the one we call Jesus because I don't think that was the guy's name. I don't think anybody who addressed the human said, hey, Jesus. I don't think that was the mouth sound anyone made when they addressed that wise carpenter, the wise man, one we call Jesus. I speculate his name was Yahushua ben Joseph. But even with that, I'm speculating. What do I know? I don't know. I didn't walk with him back then. I'm speaking to you from, about 4 decades worth of context, right? So, anyway, it looks like an interesting, and apparently it's season 3. Apparently it's season 3 that this, whatever this series is called, The Chosen, and it looks interesting. I like that I'm going to say Jesus because that's the common name that we use for that human. The fuck you just say? I'm not trying to elaborate on all that right now. The one we call Jesus, he said, I am not that which you are not. Supposedly. This is all hearsay. Every bit. Okay, let's touch. Good grief. Almost said JC. So JC, Jesus Christ. Some people get offended when you say Jesus Christ in an exasperated tone, whatever. Just use the Lord's name in vain. Christ was not the dude's last name. Even the people who come from religion who want to get offended by somebody saying Jesus Christ, when you ask them about it, they're like, oh yeah, no, that wasn't his last name. It wasn't his name. Christ wasn't his name. He was the bearer of Christ. He was the embodiment of Christ consciousness. And again, hearsay suggests for what word on the street is, from what I hear, he said, I am not that which you are not. All these things I've done, you too can do, and more. How the fuck does that message get missed when, anyway. People talk about, I live in accordance to the Bible. Are you sure? I would suggest a better way of phrasing that might be, I live in accordance to my current level understandings, interpretations of the Bible. But to say I live in accordance to the Bible, are you sure? JC and GD. Okay, so JC, in an exasperated tone, I'm me. If I say Jesus Christ in an exasperated tone, I'm not using the Lord's name in vain. Jesus, I don't believe was the dude's name, and Christ was not the dude's name. So I'm not using the Lord's name in vain, referring to the wise carpenter from a few thousand years ago. That you are thinking I'm talking about that guy, and I'm saying Jesus Christ, and I'm using his name in vain. Wasn't his name. In my opinion, my humble opinion. I don't know. Everything I'm saying is bullshit. What the fuck do I know, right? So consider me a fool and move on, right? Like, I have this whole thing about, of me speaking my truth, my current level understanding of truth, if me speaking my opinion, I'm going to say the word truth, but if me speaking my truth rattles your cage, sweetheart, that is not, I don't know what to do about that. That is, maybe you're standing on a foundation that you're not very solid about. Maybe maybe your cage got rattled because you're not that strong in your convictions as you want to be. Because if you really are strong in your convictions, if you don't agree with the bullshit that I'm saying right now, then shouldn't it be easy for you to just call me a fool, consider me a fool? That's a word from the Bible, fool. Consider me a fool and move on. You know what I mean? Don't get upset if you got a button pushed because I'm using the Lord's name in vain. That's your button. It's your button that you're walking around with. I am just speaking my truth as I best understand it today. All right. Anyway, so there's that one, the JC one. I'm not using the Lord's name in vain. It wasn't his fucking name. I think his name was, I speculate his name was Yahushua ben Joseph, but that I don't even know because I didn't walk back then. Okay? I'm speaking to you from a perspective of 4 decades, not 2000 and something, right? Everything that we know about that dude is hearsay. There's a film called Beyond Belief. I haven't watched it in forever, but I'm going to link a thing to that. That is an interesting conversation. If the reason why I think that guy, and I need to touch on GD. I wasn't going to touch on all this when I did the recording button just now. I just found a film that looked interesting. It's in season 3. It's the story of the one we call Jesus. And he said, are you ready to do hard things? All right, so here's the reason why I think that the wise carpenter, and I got to touch on GD. I'll bring it back to that, but let me show you this cup. Cool cup. Anyway, the reason why he was a threat to the establishment, Jesus. I'm just say Jesus because I don't know Yahushua, Joshua. It would be more kin to Joseph, like Joshua, like Joe. What? But anyway, I don't know. Jesus. The reason why Jesus was put on why he was crucified by the government. I'm going to say attempted to kill him because I don't think he actually died on that cross either. But I have a different interpretation of that. That Beyond Belief film is really fascinating. I check that out. I actually have intentions to rewatch that film because it's been years and then do an episode on Shorty Does Life about that film Beyond Belief. So at some point when I get the time and bandwidth to give that mental energy, I'll create that post and then I'll come back to this episode and I'll link it below. But in the meantime, Beyond Belief, fascinating conversation. Anyway, so the reason why, I'll just say he was murdered on the cross. I don't think he was murdered on the cross. I don't think the human was done being human. Beyond Belief. The reason why the establishment, the government, needed to shut him up is because the fucking hippies walking around talking about how, hey, you're power. Give unto Caesar what's Caesar's. Cool. Pay unto Caesar. Look in the fish's mouth. Oh, look at that. There's enough money to pay the fucking taxes. How about that? All right. Get at the Caesar. But your sustenance doesn't come to you from Caesar. Your sustenance, your essence comes to you from on high, from much fucking higher than Caesar, right? Well, if I'm a tyrannical government, if I'm a suppressive government, if I want you to be looking to me, the government, for your sustenance, and this fucking hippie's running around town, gaining a lot of popularity, he became a threat to the establishment, we need to shut him down. And then mass formation psychosis, like Robert Malone was talking about recently on Joe Rogan podcast. Why did he become such a fucking threat all of a sudden? Why were we slandering him all of a sudden? Dr. Robert Malone. Fucking trust the science? That's a goddamn scientist who's got a lot of fucking science to talk about. We can't hear him. We're going to listen to the television punks who are talking about, who besmirching him, talking shit, side mouth comments with no merit, with no meat. They're Dr. Robert Malone. Why you feel that way? Why are you talking like that? Why you, Robert Malone, that guy. Why are you talking shit on this man without validation? You know what I'm saying? Like, This whole, what do they call it? I saw this with Ron Paul back in the day. I listened to when Ron Paul was running a long time ago. He was doing these rallies when he was running for president. Like, he had turnout. You know what I mean? He had mad crowds. And I would listen to his talks. I was in my recession. I was working as a valet attendant back then. So on the graveyard shift. So I could sit there with this app on my phone and I could listen to I listened to every one of his talks. Ron Paul, as he was running around the land, giving his talks. You know what's funny about the Ron Paul thing is that left, right, that's an illusion. Blue, red, Democrat, Republican, that is such bullshit. It's not real. It's just the thing to get us arguing amongst each other. Bro, we're not paying attention to what those bitches are doing. But here's the challenge I'm going to use Fox News as why they're not to be trusted. Fox News would say, and they're worse of a threat than even the blatant MSNBC morons. Like, the vaccine stops here. Rachel Maddow talking about take the vaccine and the flu stops here. What? Hindsight's 2020. Hindsight's not 2020 because we're still running what we're witnessing through the paradigm of our egoic filter, limited egoic filter. But anyway, Oh, here's why I look at something like Fox News as even more of a threat than the blatant bullshit you'll get off of a MSNBC type situation, is because Fox News gets the conservatives, the so-called conservatives, to not in agreement on these, freedom-loving conservative ways. So they garner your trust as a conservative, right? And they're edifying and building up and speaking well of Ron Paul until he becomes a threat to the establishment. Now, all of a sudden, you've got all these people at home who are watching Fox News, trusting Fox News, and they're just making all these side mouth besmirching Ron Paul comments without backing them up, without saying, why do you were just edifying. You, same face on television, were just talking well about him a year ago. Now you're talking smack and you're not telling us why you're talking smack. Oh, because your fucking boss told you to talk smack. Your boss told you to besmirch him. You're towing the company line, aren't you? Fucking sellout. You should not trust the people. You should not blindly trust the people on the television. Shouldn't blindly trust anybody. Give all humans the benefit of the doubt, yes. But trust yourself. Man, we have got to be willing to trust ourselves above anyone else. Because when you're not willing to trust yourself, well, that opens up the door to be misled. Grossly misled. That's not what I was touching either. Oh, I'm touching all kinds of shit I had no intention on touching. I saw a really cool season 3 thing about the one we call Jesus, and that led to all of this. But I'm in 18 minutes, so I'm still in my 20-minute window. This might be a 30-minute episode. I forgot where I was going there before. Let me touch on the GD one. Goddamn. So, an exasperate. Think of like an old cowboy who says, "Well, goddamn," he just had an epiphany. He just saw something differently. And you know what? And well, I'll be goddamn. That's even a better clarification of where I'm going with this. Well, I'll be goddamned, right? What that old cowboy is saying is, I just saw something anew. I saw something I didn't see before. I didn't realize that belief that I had was a false premise. I've been working with a false premise in my life, and now in my life, and now I see something anew. And son of a bitch, that false premise that I was working with was damning the flow of good, of my experience of good in this life experience that I live right now. God damned. God being a synonym for good, damned like a Hoover fucking dam, like a dam, right? That you dam the flow, like a beaver dam dams the flow. So when you are God damned, you are damming the flow of good to and through you. Like a torus, shaped like a donut, right? So when you're God, and you're the one who built the dam. Now, maybe you allowed society to build it for you. Maybe, if we're not deliberate in our ability to use discernment and trust ourselves, then we will allow the environment, the water cooler, the data sphere, to build those dams for us, those dams of damming the flow of good to and through us. But even that, we have to take ownership and acknowledge the reality that we built that dam. We let society do it for us. Okay, cute, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, we're the ones who built that dam. So, and that's all right, let me touch on sin. I know I've hit on the blog at some point, but this is relative to this conversation. The word sin, it's written all over the Bible, sin. Sin means the best translation. Everything I'm saying is just my fucking opinion. So, whatever. Fuck do I know? I'm just another limited egoic perspective talking shit too, right? Just like you, sweetheart. But anyway, sin. The word sin, best as I understand, means to miss the mark. And it's still used in the sport of archery today. A sin shot is a shot we took that did not hit its mark, the bullseye. The best understanding understanding that I've settled on in this moment, current level consciousness for the mark is pure positive joy. That's the vibration, is pure positive joy. So any thought or idea or belief that jump to conclusions on the blog, what my idea on what a belief is. But any thought that we're running around with that limits our experience in the now of pure positive joy is a sinful thought. So we're so full of sin, we're full of bullshit. We're full of ideas that limit our experience in the here and now of pure positive joy. So any idea that we're holding on to that dams the flow of good to and through us right now is a goddamned thought. So when I say, and I needed to get that GD and JC one out and recorded on the blog because I want to be free to speak freely. That's the whole fucking point of this Shorty Does Life page. This is a safe place for me to speak freely. I'm not going to be a booby trap. This is a window into my thoughts, into my world. And if you stand at the window and look at this window, and you can see me right now. You're looking through my window. You're looking into my house. I'm standing in my fucking kitchen right now in the moment. But I mean, the point, this is, whatever. But you're fucking giving your attention here. I'm not forcing you to be here. You know what I mean? So I'm creating a safe place for me to speak freely. And yeah. So JC wasn't the dude's name, in my opinion, best I can tell. GD is not using the Lord's name in vain either. It's not blasphemy. It's an epiphany. It's an observation of an error in my thinking. It's an observation of, oh wow, holy shit, goddamn, ain't that something? That's you know what I'm saying? And maybe not even an epiphany. Maybe it's just an acknowledgement of, because maybe that presupposes that I've got a new way. Well, no, yeah, it still presupposes I see something differently. Hey, JC, would you die for me? Zana, oh, Zana, hey, superstar. Yeah, man, I just wanted to turn this thing on to talk about that film that I saw. I ended up going off on all kinds of... I've got so many things, though, that are in my mind. Some of them are on paper. The JCJD one was one that I kind of wish I would have consulted my notepad on, because I think I have a notepad on it with some bullet points of some things I wanted to touch on. But I also, best I could tell in this moment as I'm recording this, which that's always a booby trap too, because as soon as I hit the record off button, I'm like, God bless it. I was going to say this, that, or the other thing on that topic, whatever. That's why I like having the notes and kind of putting my thoughts down. But also too, I feel like some of my best shit is just the talking shit stuff. That's why I needed to create a space where I could just F-bomb away. Bomb, yeah, whatever. Bomb All right. Yeah. Hey, appreciate you tuning in. I just shot another episode for Shorty Does Life. Namaste, motherfuckers.